broadcast is live now.
Live,
If you
mate.
didn't know anything,
Split screen, the Mandolorian, and Mark. Wait, what the? Where's my name, huh? Mark and Brandon. Where the fuck's Jedi Singh?
To be fair, there was actually not enough characters in the title. I'm gonna.
No, you know what? This is racism. 2 white guys against 1 brown guy. Racist.
Hey, you're an auto boy.
I'm an auto bot.
They're rolling out, boys.
I'm Singimus Prime. I'm rolling out of it.
Sick of us. Brilliant.
Optimus Singh.
See if I do that. Does my camera go away? Does it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Right.
Of course.
What's going on, Mega? This is a podcast. Yeah, sorry, it started a little bit strangely. But cool. We got Mega. We got Tesco. We got Matthias. Sorry, guys. We'll get Optimus Prime is Jedi Singh.
No, it's Optimus Prime.
Or Optimus Prime, whatever you fancy. There is a link in the description to his channel. So yeah, Stephanos, when Split Screen is doing the podcast about Star Wars and I'm not in it, screams in charge of. Oh, dude. I'm sorry. All right, give me a second, guys, as well, actually, because I need to get a link and post it in Discord and Twitter. So yeah, just give me like 1 second. Okay. But yes, as you can see, this is a podcast. We're going to be talking about the Rise of Skywalker trailer that obviously aired the other day. Where's Branston gone?
I'm here.
There we go. Where did you go?
My chat wasn't working, so I had to refresh the page and took me out.
All right. Okay. Announcements. Everyone live with podcast. Cool. So I think the first order of business, we were going to watch the Star Wars trailer all together. It's going to be epic. What is this crashing thing every game? Yeah, apparently Battlefront 2 is crashing a lot, but which is a big problem I've seen. I've been kicked out of games and stuff like that, but I'm just going to obviously introduce everyone. You know, we've got Brandon, the beautiful Branster, our regular co-host, and yes, and then we've got Jedi Singh, or Optimus Prime as he's known today, Jedi Singh. But links to both their channels is in the description for you guys to go and check out their channels. So please go and do so. Otherwise, you're racist to robots. So
how is it going, everyone?
Yeah. Hope you're all anyway. Yeah, guys, how are you two doing? Anyway, I should ask probably. Aaron, are you there? Can you?
I think Aaron is gone.
Is he gone?
I think Aaron's dropped out again.
I can see him there, but
yeah, he's there, but he's just not saying anything.
Oh no!
I miss that beautiful robot face.
Technical difficulties. It was fine before. I felt it. Come on. Oh, he's gone. Brilliant. Okay, well, we've got some technical issues. Very nice.
There's always bound to be some technical difficulties on an episode of podcasting through Star Wars. This is a given.
Guy, what are you trying to do? Just select it so I can change the thing of it. Like the thing of what size. Oh, just click on the image, go on the move tool, click on the image and press Control T. Cool. Got it saved. Right. Oh, there we go. Daddy Singh, you there?
Okay, Papa, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear. What was that? What was that? All right. So how are you doing anyway, Aaron? It's good to see you, buddy.
Going good, mate. Going good.
Awesome. Okay, so the first order of business, guys, first order, is we were all going to watch the trailer together now, live on stream, and then kind of give our thoughts about it overall. So this should be interesting. I'm going to share screen. Okay, share screen. Does that work? Your screen, application window. Share that. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yes.
Guys, let me know if I cut off again, and I'll come back in.
No worries at all. Does this is that good? Can you only see like the trailer, not yours? Like it's not like you're staring into an abyss.
Can you make it full screen? Try and see if we can make it full screen.
What, the trailer?
Wait, I'm gonna reload because it's not
That's
showing
fine.
for me.
No,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
That's
okay.
fine. Yeah,
I can see
This
it.
is fine.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's fine.
Okay, so is my face cam still there as well? Just
Mate, you're still
Yeah.
sexy
Good.
as ever. Come on, let's start this.
cool. Okay, thank you very much. No, I was just wondering if it was or not because I can't actually see it. Okay, so guys, we're gonna watch the trailer first of all, and then we'll live reaction in a way. Here we
Excuse
go.
me.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't know if you guys will have audio for it, actually.
No, we don't have audio, Mark. No.
No audio.
There should be an
Sorry,
option
guys.
to share audio.
There is
somewhere.
some.
Yeah.
It's like, Chrome's not responding.
Actually, hold on, Mark. Mark, hold on. Let's try something.
Guys, I'm
Why
scared.
don't I play the trailer on my end, and 3, 2, 1, we play it together at the same time?
And on your phone?
If you know what I mean.
I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. Chrome's like not responding now, so it's just not.
Well, let me see if I can get the Rise of Skywalker quickly. On my
This
phone.
just isn't our night, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not. Everything's just going wrong, and I don't like it. Oh god. Oh god. Like, I'm gonna have to like press the X button, but that's gonna end everything.
Yeah,
No,
it's
don't
just
do that.
it's just stuck on the Lucasfilm logo.
If it's not
for me.
responding, your kit should come up giving you an option: either close the program or wait for a response.
Can you guys hear that?
Wait for program. I can, yeah, but do press wait for program.
Well, because I'm thinking if we both press play at the same
I have that
time.
problem at work all the time on like Windows, on like Microsoft, like Word, PowerPoint, and stuff.
Because I'm thinking if we press play at the same time.
Wait for a response.
Yeah.
It usually works after a bit. Sorry about this, guys. This was not intended. I'll get the chat open on my phone for now. I don't honestly know what's going to happen here with Chrome, to be honest. It could take a while, it might not, but we'll see. Okay, so for you guys, it's literally like just fine. It's just stuck on the screen. But for me, it's just not responding at all. So this is really, really useful.
Yeah, for me, it's just gone dark again now. As in, there's nothing on the screen.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's nothing. I'm going to have to like... The whole wait for program to respond thing just doesn't work really for me ever. So I'm going to have to close program. I'll probably have to boot everything back up again.
Have you tried Hangouts?
Okay, so-
See if Hangouts works.
No, it doesn't work on stream.
Does it not? Oh, okay.
No.
All right, let me give it a go. Closing Chrome.
Well, what's happened? Wait, are we still live?
Yeah, I'm still live. It says live.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we're still live.
Yeah.
Okay. Sick.
Oh, there we
we're
go.
still live.
All
I
right,
thought it
there we
ended
go.
the stream automatically. Okay, let's go.
I thought it would as well, to be honest. Right, let's try that again, shall we?
Yeah,
YouTube.
go for it.
Yeah, really apologise about that, guys. It's not online. I don't want to. Let's watch on Stars UK. Why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, share screen. Some streams that you share audio, look for the share audio checkbox on the next window. Sharing audio from Chrome tab works best.
Yeah.
Share screen. Oh yeah, share audio. There we go. I didn't click that last time. Yeah, your entire screen. Share. Got it. Okay, so we all good to go now?
Yeah.
I see it, yeah.
Awesome. Guys, there we go. Okay. Just like that. So we're going to watch this trailer, then we're going to go speak about it, and should be good to go.
It's an instinct. A feeling. The Force brought us together. We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
I do.
Yeah, boy.
Oh boy.
Thick.
He is swole.
Long have I waited.
Oh man.
This was I dropped my jaw at this point the first time.
You're coming
Yeah.
together.
This is so amazing.
Is your undoing.
I got goosebumps.
This is the bit that got me.
You're doing there, 3PO?
I'm taking one
last look, sir.
Oh my god.
Friends.
At my friends.
No, 3PO!
This music for it though is beautiful.
Amazing.
Here. It's the destiny of a Jedi.
Woo!
Your destiny.
Like that is. I didn't see that doing before.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh, it's so nice.
And that's how you do a trailer, ladies and gentlemen.
The Rise of Sky Wanker.
Oh god. Right. There's actually a little bit I want to kind of look at a second.
You can go for it, mate.
Do you kind of want to analyze things from the start? Yeah. Drag them above the layer.
He said layer.
I did. No, in that. So, let's go from the start. Actually, let's kind of like analyze it a little bit. So, but overall opinions, where would you kind of rate it in terms of the trailers?
Probably second. I'd say Force Awakens. That's like all time. Nothing's gonna beat that ever. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, Rogue One, Solo.
In terms of Disney stuff, then
Yeah, Disney.
In terms of
agree with
Disney
that,
stuff,
yeah.
I would agree with what Mr. Brunster said.
The Force Awakens trailer was incredible.
Yeah, nothing will ever top that for me.
Trailer-wise, it's mind-blowing. You don't know what to say about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like your mouth is you're just shocked. Like there's nothing that you can say. Because when I watched it, I didn't know what to think. You know, I didn't know what to say. But if we now break down the trailer and each of us talk about what's going on, I think that would be good if we do that next. So
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. But now there we go. Nice.
Hello.
So in the first bit, I guess Rey's training on Endor, which looks like Endor.
It does look like Endor, yes.
And I do think that's probably it could have been Leia's helmet from Return of the Jedi. It looks very much like it, if I'm honest.
See, this is the thing. A lot of people have been saying it looks like Leia's helmet, which I can get behind that. If you look at the kind of shape this is, then I can very much get behind it. The only thing for me that's a little bit kind of confused, like obviously it would have been like 30 years by now, so that's kind of understandable. It's just obviously it's got a hole in like the back of the head there. Like if you see my cursor, you can see like there's a gap here, and like that's red, and it's kind of a just completely different color. So yeah, okay, it could have had like a repaint or something like that, but it does look very much like a Endor, like Rebel Gorilla helmet, and I imagine this planet may well be Endor as well.
I don't know. I'm finding it hard to believe that it's Endor, in all honesty.
Like,
obviously, it would make sense with the whole sort of Death Star thing, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, the Death Star, that's another thing. Apparently, the Death Star 2 remains is on this planet called Kefbir, which is the homeworld of Jana as well. So it's an ocean moon. So it could very well be a new moon of Endor that we didn't know about beforehand, but...
Yeah, I think that's most likely, yeah. A new moon, yeah.
Yeah, and also it seems somewhere as well that she's... there are training droids somewhere as well. Or someone picked up on,
there was.
You can hear it. Yeah, there you go.
I thought that was obvious.
Well, no, so that's what I was kind of... I just wanted to see if you could kind of see one. So...
Yeah, so she had the training droid
here, and then obviously she's just like deflected a bullet as well, which is or like a energy pass, which is quite cool.
Yeah, so it is very reminiscent of A New Hope with Luke on the Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely.
With the whole training thing, which I think we should have seen that in the last film. In all honesty.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have some like proper training, but hey ho, Luke was.
It is what it is, yeah.
But excuse me.
Nice.
Feeling.
I imagine this is Death Star remains as well. To be fair, actually.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a callback from The Force Awakens. How she's
I thought at first it was a Star Destroyer, but I think it's a Death Star. Yeah.
I think so. I think it's Death Star too. I mean, that whole thing there could be like a main reactor or something. I'm guessing. I don't know. It could be nothing, to be fair, either. But I think it's nice that they've kind of gone back to almost her roots of scavenging in this. Almost, it's just kind of exploring the ruins. But also Finn talking as well. Him saying about how the Force is like an instinct and all that stuff. It's really nice to kind of see his development. Because obviously over in The Force Awakens, it was like, oh.
That's not how the Force works.
Let's use the Force. It's like that's how the Force works, and it's just it's really nice to be able to kind of see that actually. So, moving on, there we go. There's our beautiful man Finn back on this jungle planet. This is what makes me like not believe it's Endor. This kind of terrain, and the general aesthetic. It doesn't really.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Endor, does it?
Sometimes, in some way, it does. Like when she's running through the trees and all that stuff. Like at the start, that kind of to me looks a bit like Endor, but
the elements are there, but overall, it just doesn't look like Endor. No.
But if you think about it, in Return of the Jedi, you only saw so much of Endor.
Well, that's the thing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You never saw the whole planet. You know what I mean? Like Coruscant. It's full of like cities and like speeders. Like you know exactly what Coruscant or Tatooine's like, but we just saw like a small Imperial outpost in Endor. So this could be something even bigger. You know?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right there. You're absolutely right. It could be a lot bigger than we expect, and it's obviously different terrain.
But even I'm thinking it looks a lot like Yavin as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. I mean, Jacob in the chat as well has said that he thinks it looks a bit like Yavin, which is I can understand why. Why people might think it's Yavin as well. I just feel like the kind of overall colouring is a little bit kind of, I don't know, I feel like Yavin's a little slightly like a more different kind of green, really. I don't know, it could well be, and if we actually go back to like Yavin Ford, the Mustasi Temple or something like that would be really cool.
Well, I do believe we actually saw a glimpse of Yavin in, I think it was D23. It wasn't the trailer that they dropped, but it was sort of like a behind the scenes thing, and I'm sure there was a glimpse of Yavin somewhere, from what I can remember.
Oh really? Oh, we're gonna have to have a look at that. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere. Someone recorded it.
Wait, so what, from the actual like trailer and stuff like that?
Yeah, they showed like a behind the scenes thing, and there was a glimpse of Yavin. I don't know if it definitely was, but it certainly looked like it.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, this could very well be Yavin as well. I think if it was Endor, that would be cool, but I think if it was Yavin 4, I'd see that more maybe.
Yeah. I'd prefer it to be
I
Yavin
think-
as well.
I just feel like it would have that kind of history, like that better history with it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with the whole temple thing and everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So do you think if it's Endor though, do you think that we'll get Ewoks again?
Well, that's the thing. If it is Endor, I feel like we would get Ewoks again, which I think would be pretty fun. To be fair, it'd be nice to just have like the Ewoks again a little bit.
Yeah, even if it's just like a cameo or something, where we just saw a glimpse of them.
Yeah, of course. That would be pretty cool. To be fair,
because obviously they had like a pretty big thing in episode 6, but they don't have to have a big part in this movie just because of that. It could just be a cameo appearance or something.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, I agree with Seekonk there actually as well. I think the overall like scenery that planet, like that last shot actually had was beautiful. You know, I think it'd be awesome to kind of have that.
Is that my man Seekonks?
It is.
Hello, Seekonks.
I think this next part, if we move on to this next part, this is interesting actually because the overall like gathering of everyone kind of reminds me a bit of episode 5 where Leia's giving that talk to everyone.
That as well.
Like, and
feeling.
you can see Poe stood there like over here, and then everyone else is like sat down and stood around looking towards him and like seeing what he's got to say, which I think is kind of obviously very reminiscent of episode 5 with Leia, but also kind of goes to show that his development from obviously this his head's in the cockpit to like a born leader now. We're really going to see that.
Yeah, Lando's there as well.
But if you think about it,
Admiral Akbar's son.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, remember in The Last Jedi, there was like, let's say 60 to 100 like resistance or rebels. And now there's like, if you think about it, it's like almost tripled or doubled in size.
Well, that's the thing that's been getting me. People have been complaining about it, but like, how does it not make sense? The whole point of The Last Jedi was that they were calling out for allies, and now obviously they've got them allies, so of course the numbers are going to have grown. You know what I mean?
And I've heard people saying that actually it was because of Luke's sacrifice that caused people to join the rebellion.
But yeah, that's another thing. It inspired people to join the cause.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. Like at the end of The Last Jedi, like the last scene in The Last Jedi, we see those kids again.
It was all about hope,
and we see that kid, you know, talking about Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, and he's got like. He's got that doll in front of the big laser cannon of old Death Star tech. You know, they are literally reenacting that scene, and then obviously that little kid kind of goes up. He uses the Force and gets that broom, and he's got that ring that Rose gave him. You know, obviously a big symbol of hope. So, like the whole point of the end of The Last Jedi was obviously it sent like that story sent out hope to everyone and got the allies to band together, and this is where we are now in The Rise of Skywalker. We're kind of at that point now.
Not only just the allies as well, but even the people that are already in the resistance, like Poe and people like that. It inspires them as well and gives them hope for what's to come, the battle. Because everybody knows what's to come. There's going to be a massive battle between obviously the First Order and the Resistance. Everybody knows what's to come, but it gives them that hope that there's a way of winning it.
Yeah, I mean, for those down in Crate anyway, like that hope would have been restored when Luke just walked out in front of the First Order, and obviously Poe said that line about how they're going to be the spark that will light the fire, that'll burn them down. It's just like that kind of leadership, and like that would have inspired hope into Poe as well as the others who were there at the time. So that once they they can just be like, right, okay, we need to start rebuilding, and hopefully this. We need to send this message and this story out there and stuff. Because I mean, the First Order and obviously the Resistance guys, they were the only ones really there. So for people to know about it, I imagine the Resistance must have like sent out this message to say like, look, this has just happened, sort of thing. That's my assumption anyway. Because otherwise, how would people have known about it?
Was that the same message from Battlefront 2 where Leia is sending the same message to Zay, Iden's daughter?
No, that was just a personal message.
Oh, was that okay? Because she does talk about allies in the Outer Rim, so that could have possibly been the same message or a different one.
That brings up an interesting point, though. Do you think we're going to see Shriv and Zane?
If I'm honest, I don't think we will. I don't think we will. I think they're trying to separate the video games to the films. think
but at
they're
the same time, in terms of continuity, would it really make sense if they didn't show up? Because that's how it's sort of been set up.
It would, but I just think they're trying to just keep the video games and film separate. I just think they're doing that. I don't know why, but I just think they're keeping it that way. They don't want to interfere and things like that. That's just my opinion, or that's just my way of thinking that they're not going to bring in the old characters.
Maybe see where you're going with that, to be fair, but I think Zay and Strip, so you know the Resistance Reborn book that's coming out soon?
Oh, yeah. They're in that as well. Yeah.
Zay and Strip are in that. So if we see them in, we'll see them in that, and that could obviously help us determine whether they're going to be in the film or not. But I think even if we saw a glimpse or even a mention of them.
Yeah, exactly. If we see them, they don't have to be main characters, do they? It could just be a cameo or something.
Of course not. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we already saw the Ghost as well, remember? So
yeah. So I mean, the fact that obviously in the Battlefront 2 campaign they had story, they obviously included things from the comics, and everything's going to the novels. In terms of like the main Star Wars canon, obviously in terms of the canon timeline, every single piece of media is connected in some way, and I think that's what for me is so special about Star Wars, is that you've got all these different media types that just essentially
and they can all come together and be connected.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the thing, like Star Wars is so much more than just the movies. You've got the video games, you've got the novels, the comics, you've got everything. It's not just about the movies. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong, the movies are a big part, but everything else contributes in terms of the larger scale of things as well.
Of course, and you look at the Vader series where we see Purge troopers in them, and
now we see Fallen Order.
Yeah, and we see the second sister for like one panel in a comic book.
Yeah.
And boom, here we go. Fallen Order's coming out. The second sister's the main villain. Purge troopers are a big enemy as well to face. But this is because Respawn worked with the Lucasfilm to essentially get these guys in the story somewhere to set them up so that they're not like coming to a game completely blind. They're actually introduced them.
And that's what they've done. Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done. So I think that would be really nice to kind of. Yeah,
it's always just nice seeing these little throwbacks as well. Like, obviously, for example, Shriven Zay, like, obviously we've seen him in Battlefront 2, a video game. So if we was to then see him on the big screen in Episode 9, such a big movie, then, it'd just be great to see as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Oh, I regret getting off this thing now. Right, let's get... Once I'm back on here properly, I will shuffle the trailer forward a little bit. There we go.
We're not
alone. I think that kind of point actually is kind of talking about all the allies, because this could be like the main resistance.
Oh yeah. The allies,
him saying we're not alone is all the allies coming together actually, which is quite nice. Cool. Actually, is there anything that might be worth looking at? Probably not, but apparently, that's Admiral Akbar's son, apparently, so that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. He's in the, I think it's the comic called Allegiance. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I've read the first one, actually, so I need to read the other one, actually, now as well.
I think the second, I think it comes out next week.
Well, there you go, my brother's just, that would be really good.
People will fight.
No, I just want to go back a little bit.
Good people.
There we go. So obviously this is our first look at Rose in the Rise of Skywalker in terms of actual footage.
Yeah.
We've got comics here. Obviously, Carrie Fisher's daughter playing this character. She's here, and that's obviously Dominic Monaghan as well. So that's
Pippin.
cool. No.
It's Pippin.
It's Pippin. Yes, we got Pippin.
Yeah.
This is actually our first look at him as well in footage. So this is really cool to see these two. And Rose, obviously, these three together in some way. It looks like he's talking to Rose for something.
What makes it even better is he's a Manchester United fan.
Oh, no.
He's a big man.
That's bad. It clearly looks like they've been through battle. I mean, they look sweaty. They look dirty, like as if they've just been in some sort of fight. Based on these characters here as well.
Do you want to know my theory on that?
Shots being fired, they're running back in. What's your theory, brother?
My theory is that Dom Monaghan's character is basically saying Rose is like going. They're retreating off the Star Destroyer, and Rose is basically saying like she's worried for Finn.
Maybe.
So, and
Maybe.
he's basically saying, "No, Rose, we need to leave.
We need to go. Command, dude.
Yeah.
But either way, these look like transport shuttles that they either just free people because like they don't all look like resistance fighters, do they? No.
Good people will fight.
They kind of look a lot like civilians from what I've, to be honest, or some people do anyway. These look like. What do you guys think this is? Do you think that's like a actual building or a Star Destroyer or what?
It could be the surface of that massive, like, weird thing.
Oh, what like the iceberg in space thing?
Yeah, I reckon it could be the surface of that.
Could be.
I thought it might be a Star Destroyer at first, but no, I think it's that.
Ooh. What if it's what if it's like a squadron of resistance troopers maybe trying to free people from that place?
That'd be a good shot.
I don't know. Because I mean, these
Wait, we
like
still
just
talking about the Rose shot?
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is Rose's introduction into the film. I think it's going to start with, in terms of her introduction, I think it's going to be, obviously she's a commander now. We have to remember that she has been promoted by this time.
Yeah.
So I think that this is going to be basically her sort of coming down to whatever planet this is, and she's going to be liberating this world from, I assume, obviously the First Order, and sort of freeing the people and, you know, giving hope to the people. So that's why they're sort of running back towards that ship, because maybe it's sort of one of them where, you know, get the people, get out of there, job's done. So I think that's what's happening there, yeah.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool actually to see that. Aaron, any thoughts?
Just have to wait and see what happens in the film. That's what I'm honest.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
The only thing I can think of is that massive battle that they had in space, and they're all retreating from the battle. That's all I can think of. But again, they're not wearing any masks or oxygen masks or tanks to.
Yeah, so it's got to be
space. So it could be them freeing people or freeing people from the liberation of the First Order / Empire. But to be honest, only time can tell what's going on.
Yeah,
but again, if you look at them, they are riding those horses though.
Yeah, they are.
If you look at that, they're riding the same horses as they charge in that scene in space.
Of course, sure.
But again, if you look, I don't know if I'm correct, but if you look at that image of where they're charging on that Star Destroyer, I don't think any of them are even wearing oxygen supply tanks.
No, because that battle's actually atmospheric.
So maybe this could be that same battle.
It could very well be that same battle. Yeah, absolutely.
And then the fact is, you know, I think maybe Rose, instead of like calling out this Finn, something's massive like risen upon the horizon. Like, something's risen. That's why she's looking like that, and everybody's running away from it. So they could easily be destroyed there, or they could be seriously harmed and injured.
Yeah,
she's looking at it like, what the fuck is that? You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does look concerned. To be fair, actually, she does look concerned.
Do you think that could be something to do with Palpatine, if that's true?
Probably, yeah, it could be.
Possibly, yeah.
Or maybe it could even be Hux, because I doubt Palpatine would do that, but Palpatine would be more focused on Rey and Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because we've not had Hux in any of the 3 trailers, have we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we've
not seen any of Pride either, Richard Grant's character, so it's going to be interesting because we've not seen both of them, and obviously they're supposed to sort of both be involved in the First Order heavily, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens to them.
I hope they get some good screen time though, to be fair. I think Richard E. Grant could be like an awesome character in this. And I quite like General Hux anyway, so it'd be nice to see him get some good screen time and how his relationship with Kylo Ren develops as well, because obviously they're not at the end of The Last Jedi, they weren't on good terms really. So
there's going to be a lot of confrontation between them, a lot.
Yeah, I think Richard E. Grant's character, I think he's going to survive, not the whole movie, I don't know if he will survive the whole movie, but I think he'll survive the majority of the movie at least, but I think Hux, I think he'll actually die maybe halfway throughout the movie.
I think Kylo will kill him.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they'll sort of give it time over the course of the movie and then sort of build it up between Kylo and Hux, and then obviously when it gets to halfway, that's when Kylo will kill him.
If it is Rise of Skywalker, it could potentially just be Kylo thinking of all the bad things he's done and kill Hux because he was the main influence. And just kill him. But possibly, we don't know we'll see what happens. Or even Palpatine could kill him for failing.
Maybe it'll be interesting to see how Palpatine's like relationship, what Palpatine's kind of involvement is with everything, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he interacts with everyone. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously, we have to remember that he's coming into this trilogy for the first time. He's never, well, to our knowledge at least, he's never met any of these characters. He's never met Rey before. He's never met Kylo. So it's going to be interesting to see how he interacts with them and involves himself with them. Obviously, I think it's pretty obvious by now that he's sort of going to obviously go against both Rey and Kylo. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah. I mean, we're only 30 seconds in, but already just talking about this trailer just makes me even more excited. I'm not going to lie, boys. I'm not going to lie.
I think we're all the same.
Yeah. Here's you. Right, next part of... Oh, Mesmerized. There we go. So, okay, this shot. Obviously, I think this is actually now Poe's X-Wing. Which shows obviously like white and orange. We do see that in the D23 footage as well, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, like they're just turning around, so it looks so. I can't like really tell if they. I mean, they don't seem too concerned really, but maybe a bit of surprise or something. I don't know. They're like obviously looking at something.
It could be looking at the bit where Rey's crying on Leia and they're like staring at both of them, because it's in the same. It looks like it's in the same area where they are anyway.
Yeah, it's the same planet. I felt like that would be a bit more of like an intimate moment between Rey and Leia, though. Maybe. I don't know. I think that will probably be a scene just those two. But we do see like from the like images that were kind of being shown off at Star Wars Celebration, we do see Snap Wexley and Cloud and all this like this big weird alien thing. So I wonder if that's the case. Oh, I just thought as well. Actually, it looks like we see. I think it's coming up. Actually, yeah. What looks like the Tantive 4.
Yeah.
Which obviously, I think a lot of people. I think that some people thought it was destroyed by the Empire, which well, I don't know, because we see an image at the Star Wars Celebration. There was an image of what seems to be the Tantive 4. It was all dark and a bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not in the best
to my
of shape,
knowledge, in terms of Star Wars canon, I'm not sure it's been explained, the whole situation surrounding that. So
yeah,
it is highly possible that it could be in this movie.
I really hope it is. Plus,
and again, that'd be a nice little throwback to, you know, tie things together in terms of the original trilogy as well, because obviously we see it for the first time ever in terms of Star Wars. Obviously, in A New Hope, the very first scene. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think it'd be great to see it in the last movie.
Yeah. So there's like a little like
Lead them.
okay, it looks like there's a bit of surprise on Poe's face. Like I know it's very blurred, but you don't get a lot of frames with it. But he
Do you not
seems to
think
be
though the way they're surprised, it could even be Force ghosts of someone calling out to all of them.
Well, like
With
Luke
that
or
surprise,
something.
like you know, like how the way they're just looking, it's like they've never seen that person or never seen that before. It could be a Force ghost or something there talking to them. It's just the way on their faces and their expression doesn't seem like they've seen that person before or in a long time.
maybe, but I don't know. I can't help but think that would Force ghosts appear to people non-Force sensitive?
Yeah,
or-
They
not
would.
too sure.
They do. I think they do.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, to be like the only time we really see Force ghosts around though is with regards to Jedi. Obviously, with Return of the Jedi, there was a whole massive party. There was Luke and Leia looking over the three of them. Obviously, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda. But
exactly,
like,
they were Force sensitive, but no one else noticed it, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just see what happens, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll see what happens anyway.
Yeah.
But some things like I think shot like not a bad way, but kind of pleasantly surprised them. I suppose. And yeah, this is the Tantive 4 looking beast of a ship. Love this ship. The Corvettes.
Looks hot.
I mean, it does. It does. But yeah, I mean, to me, that just looks like the actual Tantive 4, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, so I think that's definitely the Tantive 4. I definitely think it is. Either way, it's nice to see a Corvette like that in it again because gorgeous ship. So this is the ocean moon of Kefir, I believe it's called, homeworld of Jana. So I think, I mean, the fact that it's Death Star 2 remains, I gotta say, it might well be another moon to Endor, maybe, because obviously what we actually see is the forest moon of Endor, just not. So it's like everyone refers to it as Endor, but it's just it's the forest moon of. So I feel like this could be an ocean moon, perhaps. It's got to be nearby. If it's Death Star 2 remains, it can't, like, in 30 years, like, yeah, okay, it would have probably gone somewhere, but it had to have been pretty close, like, to make sense, in my opinion, I think. So we didn't know if, like, I don't know, it's never explained if the Tantive 4 gets destroyed or not, so that's why we think that it may well be. And yeah, there was like a behind the scenes photo of the Tantive 4 sort of thing as well. So
yeah. So
I feel like I think this is an ocean moon of Endor, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Yeah, I think that's where it's at.
It's not Mon Cala, no, definitely not. This is actually already known as an ocean moon called Kefir. So
Okay.
Although
it's like
it would be cool if we
KEF.
saw Mon Cala. We've never seen it in a movie before, so
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Be interesting. Right, and then we've got another.
No one does.
So that face too. Yeah, so it's just obviously when it comes to this, it's obviously Rey saying this feed doesn't happen at the same time. I think this is where Rey and Kylo like might first see each other in the films, maybe, or just like after or towards like maybe the end of the film or the late stages of the film, they see each other at this point, and they like their last interaction was something beefy. So this could be the first time, and then obviously the speech that they're having was saying that everyone's saying they know me, no one does, and then obviously Kylo says, "But I do." There we go. So that's definitely like a different interaction they have later on. Either later on after the scene.
I agree. I don't think it's the same scene. I think it's misleading.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I don't think there's too much to say about this, to be fair, apart from that, really.
I think the whole dialogue thing, I think that'll come from later on in the film, whereas the actual scene itself, I think that'll be roughly halfway throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, the film's 2 hours and 35 minutes long, including credits. Like, it's the longest Star Wars film we've got now, and everything that we've seen so far in the footage is like for me, it's just like, how are you gonna fit all this in 2.5 hours?
Oh, I don't think we've even seen half of what we're going to see in the actual movie in terms of the trailers.
Oh no, this is the thing. In the Force Awakens trailer and the Last Jedi trailers, I genuinely felt like I knew quite a bit about the film already, but or I just like knew quite a few stages of it. But despite having 2 actual trailers plus D23 footage, which gave us like a minute of footage as well, I genuinely feel like I know nothing, honestly.
Yeah. I think I'm more or less the same, yeah.
Right. Next up is this thing. We got what looks like Special Forces TIE fighters.
That has to be where Palpatine is. It has to be. Because it looks...
Special Forces.
Yeah, they are. Maybe it's a good thing. So what makes you think it is where Palpatine is, out of curiosity?
Just because of the way that throne was sitting, it looks like the ice cave. I don't remember, because I think I saw the trailer twice, but it looks very similar to where Palpatine's throne was. I could be wrong.
Actually, you know what? In the D23 footage, when Kylo gets out of his like TIE Whisperer or whatever, it's like whether it's the same ship or not, it does seem to be a bit more like snowy, I suppose. So it could be Kylo Ren almost going to see Palps or something like that. I don't know. But then we also see Rey kind of backing away from Palps as well on this chair thing. So this could be it actually. Yeah, you make a good point there. Actually,
Funny with that chair, as you say, like if you look at it, he's actually moving with the chair.
Yeah, exactly. It is like
So
some sort of pocket chair as well.
It's like some kind of mechanical. Remember, like how you had Vader's suit.
Mhm.
It was more. It's like more advanced technology that Palpatine created for himself.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
Like he must have known years, that his death was going to come, and he must have known how to come back and how he would come back. So he probably built all these machinery to keep him alive if he did die, and that's probably one of the things there. And that could be like little spider walkers, sort of spider legs that just creep upon Rey, and he's sitting down on his throne with the same cloaks as he was.
That's actually like the first cannon.
Yeah, no, I like that theory actually. I think that'd be really cool. I also feel like the chair might be like almost instead of like legs, it's more like a hover chair sort of thing. Because obviously we see that throne, like we do see that throne, but I feel like that's gonna be set in stone.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting. But I think what's really unique about this is this just genuinely looks like an iceberg in space. It looks like we've got some sort of like I don't even know what to make of this. It looks almost industrial stuff just around the middle. So whatever this is, I think it's definitely going to be something important.
Yeah.
Definitely. Brassa, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily the same. I think it is where Palpatine's based. Sort of like he's, I don't know, strangled perhaps. I don't know. Because obviously you do see the Star Destroyer sort of rise up as well. And it looks like it's on sort of like the same sort of place. So I do definitely think it is where Palpatine's based. And obviously that's why we see all the TIE fighters going towards it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think it definitely. Either way, I think it definitely has something to do with Palpatine, basically.
It would be pretty cool. I mean, look at how many TIE fighters there are.
Yeah,
if you think
crazy.
about it, the amount of TIE fighters, it could be that same. It could be the unknown regions where all those Imperial starfighters are, or Star Destroyers are. It's probably that same place.
That's where they are because from the Battlefront 2 campaign, that's what they said. They said that the orders were to go into unknown regions and sort of hide out there, and obviously that's supposedly what they've done. So yeah, it kind of has to be the unknown regions, obviously, unless it breaks the continuity.
Yeah, and then I mean we see. So yeah, obviously this is the throne we were just kind of talking about. This very much will be set in stone, I think. This was actually based off the original concept art.
Ralph McCurry.
It was his original concept art for the Emperor's Throne that was never actually used in the film, but is now being used here, which I think is really, really cool. Actually, it's nice to see some of his work really like having an influence in the final film.
Yeah, it's great to see that.
Yeah. So I think this
remember,
really cool.
You had Vader's castle, and that was in Rogue One, and you have his throne room and all that.
Yeah. So I think
it's great to see all these things still having an influence on like the later movies and everything.
Yeah, it's really nice to see actually. Is there any dialogue?
Long have I waited.
There you go. It's Palpatine with "Long have I waited." What do you mean?
Yeah, so he's been hiding out the whole time.
Yeah. And I mean, my theory is that he's used the Snoke as a puppet to keep himself alive.
Ever since the Last Jedi,
he's been hiding in the shadows the whole time, and he's just been watching everything transpire. And obviously, now that Snoke's gone, that's when Palpatine's like, "Okay, this is where we get serious. I'm coming back, bitches."
Well, even if Snoke was like a puppet, I feel like Snoke. I kind of can't help but think that maybe Palpatine, like through the Force, almost became like part of, he almost became Snoke in a way, or like part of his like life force. I don't know how to explain it, but like he was like still where he was, but hiding away, but almost became Snoke as well to kind of.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but my hearing is pretty good. But in The Last Jedi, where Snoke's torturing Rey, you actually hear Palpatine's theme tune.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you hear the Emperor's Throne theme.
And there and then you can easily tell he's Snoke's Palpatine's puppet. There and then you can tell.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's and that same ring is Palpatine's ring.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
if you think about it logically, it makes sense because if you think about it, Snoke went specifically after Ben Solo. He wanted Ben Solo as his own, sort of apprentice.
Yeah.
Why did he want that? Because he's got the Skywalker blood.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
And
his
also
grandfather?
Luke
Anakin
Skywalker.
Skywalker,
Daddy
aka
Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah,
I was
and
thinking
obviously
of
he was Palpatine's apprentice, Darth
Yeah.
Vader. So logically, if Darth Vader's not around anymore, who would he want to replace Darth Vader as his apprentice? Oh, who better than his own grandson? And that's why he goes after Ben Solo.
And of course, like Snoke was scared of Luke, and
Yeah.
Because
Like,
Luke killed
why-
Palpatine. Well,
yeah,
Vader killed Palpatine technically, but you know
Luke's
what I mean.
the one who
Yeah.
like turned him
Oversaw
against-
it, so to say.
But the
Yeah.
thing is
so
now
it's
Luke
like-
at that stage he was all powerful. Like he's learnt so much since then, and he always knew that. I think that's probably the reason why Palpatine rose, because Luke sacrificed himself.
Mhm.
And if Luke never sacrificed himself, Palpatine would have never risen. Just
Yeah.
because Luke, even though he cut himself off the Force, he still managed to project himself across the galaxy.
That's
how
another way of
powerful
looking
Luke
at
was.
it. That's another way of looking at it. Luke's no longer around, as far as we know. So you have to be thinking, Palpatine. He would obviously know about this straight away, that Luke's no longer around. So that's like sort of like the perfect opportunity for him to come back and do what he wants to do, sort of take control of
And
the
now that
galaxy.
people were saying that if Luke was or did die, they should have, or his hand should have dropped or whatever. Yeah, it should have, but that was obviously a mistake. And everyone's saying, well, he's probably teleported somewhere else. He could be. Who knows? We never know.
Yeah.
But
That's
the
what honestly I've always thought that. I've never thought that he's actually dead. I think he actually has teleported somewhere.
Well, I think that maybe the most logical thing is probably he is dead, but I think the most respectful thing to be is to redeem his character, is to have him come back and he's teleported somewhere.
Well, yeah. Either way, no matter how he comes back, he's going to be back in this movie. So
As
that's
a Force
obviously
Ghost, but
good
if you
to
remember
see.
how Yoda was in The Last Jedi, he managed to summon lightning from the other side of the world.
There was confusion around that because it was like, if you're a Force Ghost, you're not able to influence real life events,
And the
obviously,
thing is, Yoda was able to hit Luke on the nose with his
exactly, Yoda went and did that. So
Mhm.
if Yoda can do that, why can't Luke if he's really a Force
Well,
Ghost? now?
well, then that's what we're going to see, aren't we? We'll
Yeah.
see something like that, and hopefully,
Exactly,
I really want to
yeah.
see Luke use his powers. Like,
Definitely.
I really want to see.
We
him.
saw
I
it.
really,
We saw glimpses of it in The Last Jedi, but we just didn't get
Didn't
enough of
really
it.
see
You
enough
know,
of it, yeah.
because
I
we
think-
saw it when he blew up the hut. So like he immediately clicked his fingers and the huts just blew
Boom.
up without even thinking. You know how he cut himself off the Force. He managed to do that, and he managed to communicate to Leia. He managed to give some of his life to Leia. That's how she survived, because apparently she was meant to die then, but Luke reached out to the Force and actually healed Leia from across the galaxy. So there was 2 instances there where he wasn't cut off from the Force, that he still had the Force in him, but he just never influenced himself, and that's why the end scene is where he just projected himself across the galaxy. And now
Exactly.
it's a flashback again, because if you look at it, Leia asked Obi-Wan for help as a hologram. And now, if you think about it, Luke came back to Crate as a hologram to help Leia. So just think about that. Even though people say The Last Jedi was shit, I do think it was shit. I do think Luke could have done a lot more in the film, but I think the way he portrayed at the end was okay. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay.
he literally came back at the end after all of that, transported himself across the whole entire galaxy, and he faced down the whole of the First Order, and he embarrassed them. You know, and he could. The thing is, he didn't only embarrass them; he embarrassed Ben as well. He totally embarrassed him because Ben was after Rey. Let's face it, he was after Rey, and Rey was able to get away purely because of what Luke did. He was humiliated, and Luke could have easily destroyed all them First Order ships. He didn't do that, but I'm pretty sure he could have easily done it with the power that was shown when they all fired at him, and then he was just stood there.
The thing is,
You know?
what I'd love to see is that Luke wasn't a force projection, but he actually, let's go like 20 minutes before the scene, like see the Battle of Crates going on. We shadow back to Up 2, and you see Luke rise his X-Wing up from the water, and you hear like Yoda saying "do or do not," or "Judgment by the Sides do," blah 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 from Empire, and then you see him rise the X-Wing up, and there's a smile on his face, knowing that Yoda's taught him all this, and he managed to lift up because it wasn't heavy. So then he takes that X-Wing towards Crate. He managed to bypass their radars or whatever, and he lands across somewhere else, and then he faces the First Order, and he creates a force shield around him, an energy shield, and he freezes the entire blaster bolts as Kylo Ren freezes the blaster bolts, and he bounces them back towards the MTTs. They blow up, and then Finn goes, he's one man against an entire army, and all the resistance charges out in front of, like, a massive battle scene goes on, and it's Luke with his green saber versus Kylo, and they're clashing each other, and then Luke probably chops his arm off, and then he feels like Leia, like, feeling upset, and he goes, "I'll spare your life, blah blah blah, because you are my nephew," and he doesn't want to kill him, and then he escapes and leaves, and that's how I think the film should have ended, and that's how I think Luke kind of should have redeemed himself that way, if I was honest.
Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting, to be fair. Actually, it would have been interesting. I personally like, I like The Last Jedi. I mean, I can understand why people don't. In all fairness, I think it would have been nicer to have Luke in a better way, I suppose. But I just think that the way it's set up, the Rise of Skywalker, like if the Rise of Skywalker really like kicks ass, like I really want it to, then for me personally, like any like flaw as such in The Last Jedi, like I kind of know it builds up to this, so it's like I'm not as bothered. If you know what I mean.
That's the thing. They've got to put out all the stops now with this movie. No matter what, they've got to bring all the big guns. We've got our big battles. Amazing character development, and it's a big ask because it's one movie, 2 hours and 35 minutes. You have to do all that, so it's a big ask. But I have faith. I think they can do it, but it's just about proving that, of course.
And the thing is, we need to remember this title is Rise of Skywalker. Now, it could mean 3 or 4 different things. Could it be Rey takes up the Skywalker name? Could it be Ben Solo redeems himself? Or could it mean Anakin and Luke rise from the dead? What could it mean? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many different meanings to that title.
Yeah, there are all possibilities with it.
Realistically, again, if you look at it logically, Anakin was the one to bring balance to the Force. He was the chosen one. He was the one who was supposed to destroy the Sith once and for all. Return of the Jedi, he kind of did. We thought he did. But now Palpatine's back. What does that mean, Rise of Skywalker? Oh, the title of the last movie where Palpatine's back? Surely that means Anakin's back. Surely.
Mm-hmm. It should mean because Anakin...
the Sith aren't gone.
No,
that's his prophecy.
Anakin,
to take care of the Sith once and for all.
Everything away from Anakin. He took his children, he took Leia, he took his wife away from him. He took his whole life away from him. It wasn't Obi-Wan that took his arms and legs. It was fucking Palpatine that took his arms and legs. Mm-hmm. Because he became a Sith, if you think about it. So I think Anakin needs to fulfill his destiny. And he needs to really...
Yeah, I think that's a logical thing to do. I think they have to do that.
He needs to destroy Palpatine once and for all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm honest,
the question that gets brought up...
Right.
Go on.
So, no, go on. Sorry, Brantley. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, I think the question that gets brought up then, if Anakin's to come back, is... Obviously, with Palpatine being back, he had... Well, supposedly, he had a plan all along. But if Anakin's to come back, then how would he come back?
As a Force ghost. But now,
yeah, but then would he be able to?
Now you might think I'm a bit silly or a bit stupid, but you know how in Endgame they snapped the fingers back and they brought back all the Avengers. Mm-hmm. It could be like the scene could be, let's say Kylo does return back to the light. Rey and Kylo get seriously injured, and Palpatine's going to kill both of them, and a huge blue light just completely surrounds the screen, and then you see Anakin just come out from the Force, and it's just him versus Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Just I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would give me goosebumps seeing Anakin just, stepping out from the Force. Even Obi-Wan that way, Anakin and Obi-Wan taking them both down at the same time.
Yeah.
Hence why you're bringing back some of the prequel elements.
I think either way, I think Anakin's definitely going to be in this movie.
He has to be. There's no way you have to. You cannot end this movie without Anakin, because he was the sole purpose of the Skywalker trilogy. He was the chosen one, and you cannot end this trilogy without Anakin. If not, everyone's going to be like really unhappy if Anakin isn't in this film. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. And if you remember that Yoda was never mentioned in The Last Jedi, like there was nothing about him in the trailers. So it's the same. It could be the same with Anakin. They've probably hidden him until the film comes out.
Yeah, I mean,
there's definitely a lot that's not been mentioned in the trailer that they're going to be showing in the movie. Definitely.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Right. See, this is like, if we move on now with the trailer a little bit, we obviously have this scene with this ISD, the Imperial Star Destroyer, just rising out of the ground from somewhere. Whether it's that place where we may think that Palpatine's hidden or what, like, it's somewhere. And we obviously see like in one shot we're going to see like hundreds of thousands of ISDs, just what looks like Sith Empire characters as well, which will be awesome actually. So it's interesting to think that we haven't really seen any First Order Star Destroyers yet, but we've seen a ton of Imperial Star Destroyers. So I think this could be I think this could very well be like the Imperial remnant like had hidden and like in the unknown regions, and all of a sudden, boom! Here they are. They're coming back, and it's like, whoa! They're coming back, and they're gonna cause some serious stuff. What do you guys think?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think that could be. For me, I don't really know. If I'm honest, I don't really know.
No, that's fair. I mean, either way though, this part of the trailer, literally when I watched this part of the trailer for the first time, my jaw just like opened up so much. It was crazy. It was crazy. Ooh. So the Star Wars shows just put up a thing saying the Rise of Skywalker trailer reactions and Jedi Fallen Order preview. Preview might be from stuff from earlier last week anyway, but interesting. This is the really, really good bit. All of these ships.
Yeah.
Hot damn. Okay.
It reminds me of Avengers, how like all the Avengers line up, that's what it kind of reminds me like. And even the fact is, you see the ghost there, which is like crazy because you wouldn't expect the ghost to be there.
Yeah,
it's just crazy how they're there.
Yeah, so we've got the ghost. So I think like if we saw Hera, like even if we actually get to see Hera, even if it was like a really, really small glimpse of it, I just think that would be incredible.
Because again, they were at the Battle of Scarif as well.
They were indeed, yes, they were at Scarif. So, and you hear Hera being mentioned. You actually you literally see Chopper in live action, in the kind of live action setting as well, which is so cool.
Hopefully we get even Kanan's son. We get a glimpse
Jason
of his son.
Syndulla,
Jason Syndulla. But everyone's saying the theory is that he probably trained with Luke, and he probably would have been the one slaughtered amongst Kylo Ren's, or it could even be one of the Knights of Ren's. Who knows?
Yeah, well, there's a whole thing about Jason Syndulla being a Knight of Ren, but I think that's more of a meme thing than anything else, because a lot of people don't really like Jason Syndulla because of the way he looks, which I think is unfair. But just like it's just not just the ghost, but we see Ewing down here in the middle. We have the bunker busters from The Last Jedi. We've got Republic frigates here and here. One's green, one's red. We've got what looks to me like a Wookiee gunship here from that we see in Star Wars Rebels. I think that's a Wookiee gunship. There's a vehicle here, like a massive ship here, which.
Isn't that Han's cargo thing from?
Which, a lot of people are thinking it's that, which it could very well be that. So, it does look very much like it. And if you look further at the back, it's people are people are saying that it could be acclimated Republic frigates. So
I can't have a good. I might have a look at it later if I've got a bigger image.
yeah, if you get a bigger image, you'll be able to see it a bit better. But it does kind of look like that Republic triangle shape, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, a ton of ships here. This has got to be towards the end of the film with one big ass
it has to be, yeah.
battle going on, yeah.
And I think it's Chewie, Lando, Poe on that ship.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I don't know about Finn though, because we see Finn. I don't know if that scene is joined in with the scene where Kylo and Rey are fighting on that new planet. So it might be, or it might be just be a totally different scene where there's Finn, Lando, Poe, and 3PO even, or R2 on Chewie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Rey and Kylo have probably gone off to find the Emperor.
Yeah, very, very well could be. Very well could be. So I think there's a little different shot. Oh, and there's another Corvette as well up there as well. We can just notice some Rebel ships as well. Like I just feel like there's so much potential with all these different ships here. Like there has to be a big space battle here. Like this has got to be the whole Resistance fleet. And obviously, what we've seen here is just going to probably be a small glimpse of it. Moving on, let's just play it together. Okay, this I think is when it might go like to start out on their little adventure. To be fair, because we know that this film, like JJ has said, that this film's kind of they're all together pretty much. So Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, 3PO as well, like they go on an adventure together. So I think this scene is probably like the start of that, maybe.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. I mean, the fact that like Rey's got a smile on her face, I think that's kind of just very much.
Do you think maybe it could be the end of the film because Rey's smiling, like everything's over? Maybe, who knows?
It could be. I think it's either the end, but I personally feel like it would more likely fit towards the beginning of the film, maybe when they start setting out, like when they know what they need to do. Perhaps.
Is Bran still there? Where's he gone?
Brass, you still with us?
Oh, it's breaking up. Oh, it said it's breaking up.
Oh, are you there?
I'm here.
So sorry. I had no idea because I was on the full screen.
Yeah, it was breaking up for me.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just breaking up for me a little bit, so I had to drop out.
Yeah, not a problem, my dude. Bear with me 1 second. Just gonna do something real.
Was you just talking about the go scene with all the ships and everything?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, so we were saying about how we feel like that could be like the resistance, like the whole Resistance fleet, like towards the end, big space battle and stuff like that. Pretty much.
Yeah, I heard about Jason Sandula as well. I think he's a Knight of Ren. It would be so perfect. Honestly, I think. Obviously, his father's Kanan Jarrus, a Jedi Knight, and for him to go the other way and turn into sort of like a Knight of Ren, I think that'd be really cool. But then, don't they have the whole thing where the Knights of Ren, they aren't Force sensitive apart from Kylo? Or am I mistaken there?
I don't know. I always felt like the Knights of Ren were Force sensitive, maybe, and like they.
I thought that at first, yeah.
Well, if you remember,
I always thought it went that the Knights of Ren were other students from the Jedi Academy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
With Kylo.
Yeah,
and then they became the Knights of Ren.
Because Luke says that he escaped with a dozen of his students and slaughtered the rest. So I think a dozen, so there were 12. But how many are there? They look like there's 6 or 7, aren't there? There's not a lot.
Well, but I think it was JJ himself who said that they aren't actually Force sensitive. So I don't know what to think of it now.
Force sensitive.
Aren't.
Oh, they aren't. Okay.
Yeah, see,
that's what apparently JJ said. So I don't know, because obviously, if the ex-students of the Jedi Academy, then surely they have to be Force sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the fact that Snoke slaughtered them. Snoke must have ordered Kylo to kill the rest of his students because Snoke probably had other Knights of Ren and they saw him as the leader. So some of them could be...
That's another thing. That where have they been the past 2 movies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that explains it. I don't know, but it's intriguing to think that they've played such a a big part in terms of the Jedi Academy falling and everything, and sort of like the downfall of Kylo, and yet they've not been present apart from like one flashback scene in the past 2 movies. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm really like confused about. I feel like Episode 8 would have been a really good place to introduce them, but if they have a big role in Episode 9, then I would be happy. Honestly, like they really do need to have a big role in this film. Because otherwise it's just like it felt like with Snoke it should have been wasted potential really, because it just felt like Snoke was so expendable. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, if they don't have a big role in the film, I'll be kind of annoyed. I'll be pretty annoyed. But we shall see.
But yeah, in terms of my original point, I think Jason Derulo would be a perfect Knight of Ren.
I think it would be pretty cool, but I genuinely thought that most people with that idea were just for the memes.
Oh, I'm not for the memes. I've literally got an entire theory about how all that could happen.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. I think it would be really interesting to see if the Knights of Ren actually get unmasked in the film at all.
Well, apparently Matt Smith's playing one, isn't he? So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, Matt Smith is apparently
because
playing one.
At first they said that he was playing one, but then apparently I think it was his agent or something said that he wasn't actually in the movie. So there was sort of like loads of confusion around is he in the movie or is he not? But I think it has officially been confirmed that he is in a movie now. So. And he is going to be a Knight of Ren, so I think I don't know. Maybe he's like the head Knight of Ren. I don't know because I don't know. It's a tricky one.
The head Knight of Ren.
Well, yeah, he's the head,
guess he could almost be like
sort of like the
command,
side head. Yeah, second in command. Yeah,
he's the side hoe. Oh, God.
Like maybe, obviously, they've not been present the past 2 movies, so I don't know obviously where they've been. But say if they've been like on another mission or something. Maybe Matt Smith's sort of been like the second command leading them, whilst Kylo was obviously been with Snoke.
Possibly that, or it's just like they were out on some sort of mission, because the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi, obviously it happens like all in all happens within a space of probably like a week and a half to 2 weeks. So,
well, even then, if they're on a mission, like why did they not just say that in either of the movies? Like, oh, the Knights of Ren are on a mission or something. Why didn't they explain it? I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. It would have been.
Like they didn't have to show up. They didn't have to show up, but if you at least got an explanation, just like a simple line from like
that's
I don't know, Kylo or something.
That's Rian Johnson for you. He completely forgets about the Knights of Ren and only has emo boy Kylo. So yeah, that's Rian Johnson for you.
Well, the thing is, though, like the Knights of Ren were mentioned in the Last Jedi anyway, so it's like he didn't. I'm pretty sure they were. Like,
yeah, I can't remember. I'm not watching
the throne room.
I don't think they were mentioned.
No, I think Snoke was basically like saying when he was talking to Kylo Ren, like grilling him at the start when you first see them, it was like talking about Kylo Ren, like head of the Knights of Ren, sort of thing. Like he
did say something. He did say that. Yeah.
So like they weren't like totally forgotten; they were just never used, which obviously to many fans' annoyance was, well, they were annoyed, basically. Which I can understand. It would have been nice to have seen them, but I think if they have a big role in this film, then yeah, that would be nice. Because in a way, The Force Awakens, I like as much as it felt like Episode 4 just kind of redone. I really enjoyed it. The Last Jedi, I did enjoy it, and I think I genuinely do think that the story itself is a solid story to follow on from The Force Awakens. But whether it was the right story to tell for Episode 8 is another question. That's kind of how I feel about it. Right, looking back at the trailer again, then we obviously see this kind of they're fighting of sorts. In the D23 footage, it kind of looked apparently, it looked that they're in some sort of defensive form. So some people are thinking that they were training in this point. So that looks quite aggressive.
Is this Rey versus Kylo? Because I can't see it on my screen.
Okay, this is Rey versus Kylo again. So in the D23 footage, some people were saying that they both looked defensive, almost like they were training.
Yeah, they had the training forms, so that's why people were confused. Because it was like, well, if they have the training lightsaber forms, then does that mean that they're actually training each other? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But then we kind of go to this, and it's like, it looks like, so Rey's like swinging around, she like hacks at it, and then comes down from the top. It just looks quite.
Every time I've watched a trailer since, and I've seen that particular scene, it's always looked as if they're both sort of really going for it, and they're both sort of being aggressive in the strike. So I don't know if it is training. I think it's like a proper fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it is as well. To be fair, we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, like, you know, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Kathleen Kennedy, they've all kind of said that the relationship is kind of. One of them said desperate, the other said complicated, and it's really interesting to see what kind of relationship they have going into this, because it does seem like a very complicated relationship. Obviously, what we see in the Last Jedi. So I think that's one of the best things to come out of the Last Jedi, is it further develops that relationship that they have. Obviously, not like in a Reylo way, but not in that like way of relationship, but just kind of how they are with each other, you know.
Well, Daisy Ridley already confirmed that Reylo's not happening anyway, so.
Oh, did you?
It's all good. Yeah, I think it was in an interview after Star Wars Celebration, after they showed the trailer and everything, and in one of the interviews, someone asked her straight up about it, and she was just like, "No, it's not happening."
Okay.
But it was like her answer was like just straight away. She just debunked it. So.
Interesting. The thing is that because obviously, you know, people can ship what they want. That's absolutely fine. I have no problem with it. But it would be interesting to see what happens to, like, if any, you know, if the Rise of Skywalker then comes out, and if nothing happens between those two, like, what will Reylo's, like, what will people who ship Reylo kind of do? What will they feel like? It's just definitely really.
I don't know how this has even come about, man. Honestly, like, they had the whole thing in The Last Jedi. They had a connection. But that was explained. It was all because of Snoke. So I don't get how all of a sudden.
Fuck all these theories. Fuck the theories.
I don't get how all of a sudden that we're getting these Reylos.
They're like Reylo this, Reylo that. Just know what.
You
want to do that? Go on.
We want Star Wars. We don't want Reylo or whatever. It's
not. It's just because Rey and Kylo had intimate sexual feelings with their fingers. So what? You know, like, just fuck off with that theory. They shouldn't have that.
It's like in the prequel trilogy, you didn't have like people calling Anakin and Padme Padawan. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. You know?
So it just doesn't make sense.
Well, like Luke and Leia, like Slayer or something. I don't know. I have no idea, but you know what I mean.
Oh God! Right.
Guys, give me 1 minute. I'm just going to go for a little whiz.
Not a problem.
All right.
I think we'll kind of move on a little bit with the trailer.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah, we've. Oh wait, is that like a planet thing down there? So. Oh no, that's the end. So okay, like, why have I done that? So there's an explosion. A few people are thinking that big, like, icy looking thing is that explosion, but I feel like that's far too small for that.
Wait, which explosion is this?
So you know, after Kylo Ray. Oh God! You know,
oh God! I know a ship.
So it's when you just see the back of the Star Destroyer and a big explosion.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I don't actually. I feel like that might be a ship of some sort. To be honest,
I think it might be. Yeah.
It just doesn't, like, based on the angle of the shot as well. It looks too close to the Star Destroyer to be anything like massive, you know.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Rey in. I mean, it's only Rey here in like a water skier.
I'm back,
sort
guys.
of vehicle. Welcome back, my dude. So yeah, we've got like Rey in some sort of water skier type vehicle. I imagine this is probably on her way.
Is that Rey?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
If you look closely enough, you can kind of see her robes and everything. She's
whenever I've watched it, I've just like I've seen it and I've just thought, oh, okay. I didn't think about who was like piloting it or anything.
Yeah, no. If you look closely enough, like on a computer screen or something like that, or even if you look really hard on your phone, you'll be able to see that it's Rey.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I imagine this is just her going to the Death Star to kind of ruins and stuff before like her exploration, which
it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because if you go back earlier in the trailer, we see her like, and she's quite wet. So I think this is after.
Yeah.
This.
And then even like in The Force Awakens, where we see her with the speeder and everything on Jakku, so it makes sense to obviously see her with this as well.
Yeah, no, of course.
Sort of going back to the scavenging routes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she goes down this big wave, and then all of a sudden, boom! There's like the dish, the Death Star dish is right there. And then we get our first look at Babu Frick as well. The very tiny, he's the size of 3PO's head, for God's sake, doing some work. We get our first. This is actually one of our first look. I think this is our first look at Zori Bliss in a trailer, actually. Because we got Rey, Finn, Poe, BB-8, Dio as well. And then Zori Bliss. So this is clearly after they've been to Kijimi, because that's where Zori Bliss is actually from. So it'd be interesting to see what's actually going on here with 3PO, and actually something as well.
B1 battle droid.
Yeah, so a little bit later, in like another frame or two, we'll see the B1 battle droid.
I'm sure that there's like the leg of a droidica as well.
Yeah, someone did point that out as well. Actually, I think
out somewhere in the background.
Yeah, I don't see it here at all. So it might be.
It's hard to spot. It's hard to spot. Yeah.
Something I'm like, because I feel like Zori Bliss and Poe will get on. I feel like they'll get on really well. To be honest, I genuinely do think they'll get on really well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking
one last look, sir, at my friends. Yeah, so on the right-hand side here, you can see a B1 battle. This is actually a B1 commander. If you look really closely, again, on the top of the head, you can see the kind of yellow thing. And you see a yellow circle on his chest as well. So it's actually a B1 commander.
Okay.
one last look, sir.
Yeah, apparently, I think that might be the droidica leg.
Yeah.
On the left.
No, apparently I thought that's a medical droid from, the one that Luke was in the back tank, and Vader was on Coruscant. Apparently, it's that medical droid.
No, it's just, there is no. To be fair, actually, there is a medical droid. There's a medical droid here behind Finn.
Right.
That you might be able to see. You can see my screen.
Well, it's supposed to be a droid workshop, isn't it? So there's going to be loads of sort of models of droids and everything. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So I feel like that's definitely a medical droid, and then look here. I think it could be a droidica leg, but I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's sort of one of them 50-50.
Yeah. I feel like this might be like the fact that Poe's like, "Oh, what are you doing, 3PO?" I feel like 3PO has asked Babu Frick to do this for him, and no one else knows until this point.
Maybe apart from R2.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he says I'm taking one last look. I feel like he'll engage in some sort of battle mode, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be sort of like a memory wipe or something.
He's not gonna die. It's just like how we saw in the second trailer. It's just him with the red eyes. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it'll be just before this bit will be just before that. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he might be all crazy as a droid. It won't be the same 3PO as we all know. He'll be all crazy. He'll probably be engaging in battle. He must have been I've done nothing all my life. I want to do something.
Yeah, he's
for-
probably just bored. It's not Taylor
Yeah.
Resistance or anything. He's
Yeah.
just bored, trotting around with R2 all his life. He wants some action.
I mean, let's not forget, like he's had some serious, like he has gone through a lot. To be fair, obviously,
Oh
he had
yeah, definitely.
We've had his memory wipes anyway, so he wouldn't remember all the Clone Wars and stuff anyway. But you know, we know he's been through a lot anyway. So
Well,
he
in the
would-
Clone Wars, he got he was in space, weren't he, with R2?
Mhm.
When
He was.
Grievous invaded the Republic ship,
Mhm.
and they tried to escape in a Y-wing or something, didn't they? And then they got
Yeah.
blown out the ship, and
Mhm.
they was just floating around in space.
Yeah, oh, that was brilliant. So yeah, I mean, we know 3PO's been through a lot, so that's that's something really. I suppose.
This is where the trailer really starts to pick up.
Yeah, like when the music starts and stuff like that, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
This has got to be in some sort of first order like Star Destroyer or base somewhere. It's got to be.
Oh, is this with Finn and Chewie and Paul escaping?
Yeah.
I think with that scene, I think it's something to do with maybe Chewie. He gets taken by the First Order and you have to go and rescue him or something.
Or it could be
Maybe.
It looks like
Lando,
it looks like they're trying to escape, doesn't it? It doesn't look like they're sort of invading the ship or something. It looks like they're trying to escape from the ship. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it was some sort of like attack or like invasion of the ship, then there would probably be a lot more going on, maybe.
Yeah. Whereas it's literally just them like blasting stormtroopers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Confront
Yeah, I just want to. Chewie doesn't look like he's got his bandolier or his bowcaster either.
No, he's not.
He doesn't. He does. Okay, that's interesting because we'll see something later.
That's what I mean. So that's why I think that's why I think it's that Finn and Poe are trying to, get Chewie out of there.
Yeah.
Because they've been taken by the First Order.
Because later on in the trailer, we do actually see Chewie's bandolier and bowcaster anyway, like just sat there.
Well,
don't we see it in the Kylo and Rey scene when they're smashing the thing up? Yeah.
But if you think about it, if you remember that Lando and Chewie may have got captured and Lando would have been killed. That's why
I don't know. That's dark, man.
But the thing is, though, if Lando and Chewie took the Falcon somewhere, then...
I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
Then Lando and Chewie would have got captured. Lando may have sacrificed himself to save Chewie. Or Lando must have got taken somewhere else and interrogated by a First Order officer and they're going off to rescue Lando.
Well, the thing is, Lando's not supposed to be in the movie that much anyway, so that would kind of make sense.
But if they kill him off, man, oh my Jesus.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, I don't want to see Lando die. I think if they did that, it's just like they've gone and essentially almost killed a First Order, like not First Order, but like an OG character for.
Boys, I couldn't cope with Han dying. Never mind Lando dying as well.
Yeah, it would just be so frustrating if they did, to be honest. It would be really annoying. I don't want to see, I don't want to see them like kill off another like really key character. So yeah, I'm hoping Lando's going to be okay. To be fair. Right. So yeah, Dallas like some sort of escape. Rey and Leia having some sort of hug.
Yeah, we've seen that in the other trailers, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Fear. It's the destiny of the Jedi.
Rey's crying, so I almost feel like this is the last time Rey might see Leia, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky with that scene. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, like you say, she has sort of got tears in her eyes and everything, so maybe it is her saying goodbye to Leia. I don't know. Or maybe it's just, it doesn't mean that anything's happening to Leia. Maybe it's just that, obviously Rey's going on a mission to the Death Star ruins, and that's why she's sort of saying goodbye to Leia. And apparently, Leia's going to be giving some training to Rey, as in like Jedi training. So maybe that's why that's like another reason why she's getting so emotional, because
Yeah.
obviously all this time she's been being trained by Leia, and now she's saying goodbye to her potentially for the last time, because obviously she's going to the Death Star ruins and you don't know what you're going to face there. So maybe that's why she's getting so emotional about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We then see BB-8 in, like, this is a Pisana thing. I think we'll see the Knights of Ren quite a lot in Pisana, so this should be interesting, like the new desert planet. This is like the speeder bike chase thing with the First Order jet troopers as well, I think. So
yeah, we saw that in the trailer as well, didn't we?
Yeah, because if you look, this will be the tread. Oh, so this is where tread speeders come into it actually, because BB-8 touches this like canister which like explodes with like this color powder.
Yeah.
If you look really closely, you can see like First Order tread speeders like on the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a part of it. Really interesting. Then we've got Lando and Chewie just in the Falcon, really. Then we've got this. So it'd be nice to see Lando in the Falcon again. Actually, that'd be nice. Hopefully, and meet another Falcon in Battlefront 2 as well.
Too many Falcons.
Yeah.
Isn't like 5 already?
There's 3.
4, I think. There's 3 or 4.
3. No, it's 3. We've got Rey and Chewie, Lando and L3, Han and Chewie. That was a joke, by the way, for anyone who wasn't too sure about that.
I'm not too sure.
Okay, but I was joking. Wait, apparently the Star Wars show just confirmed that the Colossus is somewhere in that Resistance fleet.
Did they?
Apparently so.
Who said that?
Stephanos Tuba said it in the chat. Also, Stocky, Demon King, General Matt. It's good to see everyone here. Appreciate you all being here as well. Yeah, it's Spikey's as well. Hello there. So yeah, we've just seen that whole scene with BB-8, and we've just seen Lando in the Falcon. We now kind of move on to a Y-wing spinning. I think
I love that.
Zori Bliss inside the Y-wing.
Did you see Elliot, the Weekly Run? He actually posted a Lego set, and it had the Y-wing on it with Zori Bliss. So
yeah, that's
I think that's
released recently.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, and
Your destiny.
I mean, that is some serious, like, to have that spin attack plus the spin and the accuracy on that thing as well. I mean, actually, to be fair, Y-Wing's a 2-man ship, so I think, and Poe comes in that set as well, I think, so.
Could be Zori and Poe, yeah.
I think Zori, or like one of them's the pilot, and then the other's the gunner, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see again. Like, I'm really interested to see what relationship Zori and Poe actually have, and how they kind of connect with each other, and see what, like, they have together in terms of like flying as well. And something I mentioned to Guy, obviously, my broski. I was saying earlier about yesterday, sorry, that before The Last Jedi came out, there was this whole thing about how Poe will meet his match in The Last Jedi. This was a rumor that was going around beforehand, which obviously we never really saw. Obviously, we saw Tali Lintra for a very short amount of time, which, I imagine she was a skilled pilot, but we hardly saw her do anything really. So I wasn't too sure about this, but I feel like now in The Rise of Skywalker, Zori Bliss could probably be one of those kind of characters that really like test his abilities in terms of being a pilot, like kind of almost being like similar wavelength as him. So I think that's kind of where my interest is kind of going with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting in terms of her role, because we still don't really know what she's in the movie for, so that could definitely be a possibility, yeah.
And then we have big pony things. We see that. Yeah, then we got Jana, Finn, and a ton of Resistance people. Actually, I think there's this could be Kefbir, to be fair, maybe, because we see, like, in some of the original shots before, we see like we see Jana and Finn on these like horse-like things. And now that we see them like running around on what is a Star Destroyer, in the atmosphere. I think it's going to be Kefir, to be honest, where all this is going on, like the Death Star 2 ruins, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's possible. Yeah.
Because I think Jana is like the leader of this resistance movement there, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, again, even with Jana, we don't really know her role in the movie as of right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And obviously the people behind Finn look to be kind of natives as well, like similar kind of aesthetic as Jana as well. So I think that's cool. We see BB-8 rolling and, you know, people be hating the Empire.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that until I think I saw it on Twitter today, and someone pointed it out, and I was like, whoa, I didn't see that. So, yeah, it was cool to just see him rolling around with them.
Yeah. Go on to the layers. Right click. Rasticize layer. Got should say somewhere. There you go. Right. Go against forever. Right. Oh, for God's sake. Wrong time. This bit. The original Emperor's throne room in the Death Star 2. It's obviously been destroyed. It's quite wet on the floor as well, so I imagine it gets a bit of waterworks as well. But this scene is being compared to. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I know that there's a scene in Game of Thrones on like the last episode or something like that, which is basically
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So
the comparison,
I think it's interesting. Yeah, this could be very interesting. Methinks. Oof. What do you think will come out of this then? Do you think they'll? I mean, the fact that Rey's ignited her saber. Do you think there's going to be a fight here, or?
I think there will be, but it might be a lot of talking. Maybe Kylo Ren says, "Look, Rey," or like it was like telling her how sorry he is after all he's done.
Maybe
and there's like a whole confrontation going on between why should I trust you? Blah blah blah. You killed Han Solo. You tried to destroy the Resistance. Blah blah blah, etc. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely something that we could see. A bit of confrontation, because I feel like there's a little bit later, actually in a couple seconds. So I will get onto that in just a second, because now we have. Let me pause. Thank you. Because we go back onto like the Death Star, like outer stuff. We see Finn running and shouting Rey for some reason. Obviously, we don't know. Behind him is Jana, though. I don't know if anyone.
Is she?
Yeah. If you look really carefully, if you're able to see my screen now, you can see Jana behind Finn.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I can't see the screen still, so.
Okay, no worries. But is there any particular reason why you can't, or?
Oh no, it's just blank for me. It's just being a bit laggy, that's all.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, like they're just on the outer remains, and Finn just shouts Rey, and yeah, you see Jana behind. I don't know. I mean, this could possibly be where we see Kylo and Rey fighting, perhaps like earlier on in the trailer. Maybe this could be Finn coming up to.
That's what I instantly thought. Yeah, when I first saw it.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
think.
where they was fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a bit of. It's definitely like Finn warning Rey that something's coming.
Yeah.
Warning Rey.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, could even be Palpatine even coming. You never know.
Yeah, it could be anything, but either way, I think it's going to be some sort of big thing happening. You know. All right, this bit. This is interesting. This part. This is where we first see Kylo with his helmet back on again. They're destroying. I think this might be some sort of like Sith artifact or something, maybe that they're destroying. But I feel like they're working together here. They don't have like the fact that they're both striking this thing. There doesn't.
Isn't it Vader?
Well, that's what like loads of people are thinking it's Vader, but this is like I think as early as I can get with it from what
I think it's the mask that makes people think it's Vader. Not obviously Vader himself, but you know.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know.
I think it could be like people even saying that apparently them two are fighting each other and they just knock it over.
Yeah, that's possible as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
She also has the dagger as well. She has
she's
the Mortis dagger from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But is it actually the Mortis dagger though? Like that's just like everyone's thinking.
I don't know if it's a Mortis one. It could just be like a random one, but that's what obviously people are assuming because they recognise that. So, but I don't know. It could just be a random one. Yeah.
In the first 24 hours of the Rise of Skywalker trailer coming out, the top searched page
Wikipedia,
was the Mortis dagger. So it could very well be the Mortis dagger, but we don't know, to be honest. This looks
maybe it could be like an evil spirit of Vader that they're trying to destroy.
I mean, this is why I think it's some sort of Sith artifact or something. I don't know. Like it could be Vader's helmet. To be fair, like we don't really know. I wish I could scrub through frames better on this, but it's a bit difficult. Oh wait, okay. So the shot I've kind of got now is Aaron, you'll be able to see this. It kind of looks like in the eyepiece there, and like a mouth here. Maybe.
I'm gonna try and see if I can scroll a wee bit. It looks a wee bit like it.
Yeah.
Do you think it could have been the whole of Vader's like his helmet, his cape, and all that, or what do you think? Or do you think it could have been the stand where Kylo keeps Vader's helmet?
I think it's some sort of stand, to be honest. I mean, the bottom of it just kind of looks like some stand that could be like a. I mean, it's kind of got that Sith aesthetic to it, to be honest.
Because I do remember in that second trailer, you do hear Vader's breathing.
Yeah,
so
you do.
It could be to do with something with Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right before Dark Ray. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think it is. Although I'm curious as to what this environment is. I mean, based on this lighting on the side, this looks Imperial to me.
Yeah, it looks like just a Star Destroyer or something for me.
Someone told me it looked a bit like Camino as well. It's got that Camino kind of feel to it with just the white.
Yeah,
I can see where people are coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I saw someone say maybe Cloud City as well, but I don't think it's Cloud City. But I can see where people are coming from though, where they're saying Camino and Cloud City.
Well, if you look at the back as well, there's like a I don't know if I'm right in saying that, but it looks like some kind of model of a new building or artifact or something.
From on the right hand side, yeah, that's I was just looking at that and thinking it does look almost city-like in a way. But I don't know. This is what makes me think this is one of the things that's what the hell is happening in this film. I don't know. There's so many things that it might be showing off, but we just seriously don't know what the hell is going on, which is obviously really exciting actually. So yeah, I mean it's great actually. It is really good. If I scrub through a little bit more, where we get to now then, what we saw just now, which kind of almost looked like almost Vader-ish mask sort of thing, no longer looks like the helmet anymore. And I think just could be some sort of Sith artifact that either they both need to either work on or something, I don't know. But I don't know. Something's going on here, but I don't see any malicious intent on either of them, to be honest. So I think they're working together with this one. And what's even weirder is now that in this shot, we see Chewie's bowcaster and bandolier right in the screen. So to me, this could, I don't know.
That's sort of backs my theory up even more that, they tried to get Chewie out of the First Order's hands.
And yeah, he no longer has his bandolier or bowcaster.
Because he got took, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that maybe Kylo's now risen from the dark side?
Maybe, maybe.
But again, why is he wearing his helmet though? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the whole helmet thing, I've not understood it anyway.
Like the Stormtrooper where Kylo's escorting Rey with his helmet on, like they're faking that he's back to the dark. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's just my theory. It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I don't get the whole helmet thing anyway because it's just there's been parts in the last two movies where he's been wearing it, and then there's been parts where he's not been wearing it. So I don't know. Like, obviously, it's supposedly destroyed in The Last Jedi, and obviously in this movie they're bringing it back. But it's like, if he's not going to be wearing it permanently, then what's the point in bringing it back? I don't know.
It'll be.
I mean, maybe if that sole purpose of, trying to fool his own troops that he's sort of, back to the dark side or whatever, maybe he puts his mask back together just to sort of try and prove to him that he's back as the leader, whereas really he's, bringing Rey aboard to, I don't know, destroy an artifact or something. I'm not sure. Maybe that's why they bring the mask back. I don't know.
Perhaps, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the only scene that we've seen him wear the mask so far in any of the trailers for this movie.
Yeah, that is. But the only time we see it is when they're actually rebuilding the mask. That's about it.
Yeah, rebuilding it. So maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know, but it would make sense based on what they've shown us so far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then we've then got Finn, Poe, 3PO looking. I mean, Poe's got his gun like semi-raised, almost like looking at something. So I don't know what that'll be.
Well, if you look at Poe's eyes or reflection, it looks like a lightsaber.
It does, yeah. That might explain the lighting as well. The blue lighting could be Rey's lightsaber. So
didn't you have that shot in one of the behind the scenes ones from like D23 or something? They had a shot of like Poe, Finn, and some of the others, and he was looking at like a reflection or something. It was like a blue lightsaber or something. So maybe they're looking at Rey.
I don't quite remember that, to be honest. They could very well be looking at Rey for something, but yeah, it'd be interesting actually. But that shot only appears for like a very brief second.
Yeah, it's a very quick shot, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really lots to talk about there. But then we've got this shot where it's going back to what we saw earlier with wait. Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at this a little bit because it doesn't really look Imperial. Actually, no, it does, but doesn't for some reason. I don't know. It's just like on a different angle to everything else. Because, I mean, that kind of looks like that's kind of like the ball. Like that's facing this way, where everything else is facing that way, which is just pretty weird. But yeah, going back to the earlier shot where obviously we see all those like Jana, Finn, BB-8 down there as well, just like dashing across the Star Destroyer. This is just continuing that shot, but we actually get our first look at the TIE daggers as well, which I believe is the Sith Trooper TIE fighter. So that will be really cool.
It's interesting because obviously we've got them, but we've not seen, to my knowledge, we've not seen any of the actual Sith Troopers. So
we haven't. No, I mean this is the thing. The Sith Troopers were first unveiled like earlier in the summer.
Yeah, but we've not seen them in any footage.
They made, like, a big thing about them, and we've seen them in no footage at all. Which
yeah,
I'm not annoyed about that. To be fair, I like the mystery surrounding them, and I've obviously they've through merchandise as well. They kind of introduced another Sith trooper as well, being the Sith Jet Trooper. I've got the Funko Pop of it here.
Yeah, I mean they've done a lot of that where they've sort of promoted things, but they've not been in any of the trailers. So maybe they're just keeping us prizes for the actual movie.
Yeah, of course, which I think is a good thing actually, and I think the Sith Jet Trooper is exactly the same armor as the First Order Jet Trooper, same gun. The Sith Trooper's design is very much based off a First Order Stormtrooper, but also a Clone Trooper Phase 2 as well. I mean, if you look at the Funko Pop, at the back of it, I can seriously see some Phase 2 Clone Troopers in this thing as well. But their general aesthetic is kind of First Order based, so I think they will be like working together in some way.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's a great shot of the TIE daggers, like hundreds of Star Destroyers in the background. Like this is going to be some serious stuff going on here.
That's what I mean. Like this movie has so much potential, and this has the potential to be one of the best, sort of ship fights, so to speak. So hopefully they deliver.
And then a tiny bit later, we see an X-wing and a B-wing come into shot as well, which is pretty cool. So it's nice that
I loved seeing a B-wing.
That is cool. And then we see a lot of flashing lightning. Kylo apparently actually has a tear on his face as well. So Guy pointed that out to me yesterday.
Oh, is this a shot of Kylo?
Yeah, so we now got a shot of Kylo.
I have a theory about this.
Yeah?
I have a theory. So, do you remember in the D23 special look where we see sort of Kylo walking away from the ship and he ignites his lightsaber and you've got Palpatine talking?
Yep.
I think that Kylo... This is when Kylo sort of turns on Palpatine and helps Rey. Rey's in trouble with Palpatine, and then that's when he's walking from his ship. Do you remember in Revenge of the Sith with Anakin where he sort of gets into the ship and, you see him walking away from the ship to go and help Palpatine against Windu and everything?
Yeah.
I think that's sort of similar with Kylo. He gets into his ship and he gets out of his ship and he goes to actually help Rey against Palpatine, and that's why you see him igniting his lightsaber. And I think another big hint with that is, again, with the D23 special look, when he's coming out of the ship and he's got his lightsaber ignited, you see Palpatine, well, you hear Palpatine actually speaking over that scene as well. So I think that would make sense if you sort of piece it together that way. So I could be wrong, but that's just a fear I have.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think it would be worth looking at the Star Wars show as well after this as well, because Stephanos has also said that apparently the Star Wars show confirmed that it is Vader's helmet on the stand as well.
Oh,
so
confirming
yeah,
a lot of things, aren't we?
But I don't have a lot of time. Unfortunately, I will have to be like wrapping it up myself now because I'm in my brother's room. So it's fucked, man. We could genuinely go on about this for hours. To be fair,
we could definitely do a part 2. We could definitely do a part 2.
I think it'd be worth doing part 2 at some point. I mean, are you two going to be around at all tomorrow?
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
be. Yeah,
I will be. Let's do it again.
Cool. Okay, because I'd be very, very happy to go on again. It will be like in the afternoon though, like early afternoon, if that's okay with you guys.
I can do the afternoon too as well.
Yeah, just hit us up.
Awesome. Because I'll be away for a few days as of kind of about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So if we say about 1 o'clock, we can come back and get on a podcast. We can just talk through this.
Yeah, hopefully
I don't
we
think
can get a few more people on as well if they're up for it.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, that would be brilliant. Yeah, there's not a lot at all with the trailer. There's 2 shots left, so we'll go through this real quick, and then we will wrap up.
Yeah, sure.
For today, but we'll continue with it tomorrow because there's just so much. Stephanos, are you going to be around at about 1 p.m. BST tomorrow? Because if so, then yes, definitely we will get you on as well. Because we'd love to have as many people as we can to talk about this stuff as well. It'd be awesome. The next shot, though, we see kind of that when like Kylo's getting out of his.
We'll talk about the next shot tomorrow. We want to keep it. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Well, this one.
Yeah, that Palpatine shot. We'll talk about it because that we can talk about for hours.
We could probably talk about.
I mean, he's got a point, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you can't skip school. If you are around tomorrow, then that's fine, but don't skip school. School's important, okay? We'll talk about this tomorrow then, and then we just have one last thing with Rey with her lightsaber.
Yep.
Always.
I love that ending.
I think it's great. That is epic.
Just from that ending as well, you can tell that it's really going to be Carrie's film. Force Awakens was Harrison's film. Last Jedi was Mark's film. This is going to be Carrie's film, even though she's no longer with us. This is going to be her film, so I think it's on the poster as well. She's actually got the first
she's
credit
first
in
on
terms
the
of the
poster, yeah.
actors. Yeah, so that's great as well.
She does indeed. Well, hot damn. We spoke about that whole trailer for a very long time. Well, not even the whole thing. So
yeah, 2 hours nearly.
Yeah,
just on
pretty
like
much 2 hours.
a little bit of the trailer.
There's so much to talk about with this trailer, and there's that last shot with Palpatine, which we'll talk about tomorrow at 1 p.m. BST. I appreciate not everyone will be around at that time, but it's kind of the last chance we get. There's still so much to talk about. We've obviously had a lot of stuff recently about Fallen Order last week. The media got to see Mandolorian as well, so I'd love to be able to touch upon that as well.
There's so much stuff, yeah.
There's still so much stuff that we need to go through that I'd really like to talk about tomorrow for a few hours before I head away. So
yeah,
that would be.
We'll do it. We'll do it, man.
Yeah, so we'll be back again tomorrow. Aaron, thank you for coming on as always.
Thanks for having me,
Appreciate you, buddy. We'll see you again tomorrow. Branster, as always, my lovely co-host, thank you very much for
being a pleasure as always.
You guys as well, thank you for coming out as well, listening to us ramble on about this thing for ages. It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back again tomorrow, as I said, 1 p.m. BST, for just a couple hours before I head away for a few days. So, yeah, lots more to discuss regarding Star Wars, but that's going to be it for now. Thank you all very much for watching, listening, whatever you want to call it. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow. May the Force be with you always.
All right, mate. Take care. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. Cool.